Hello friends, this video on life processes part 9 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. So let us look at the next part, that is the stomach. So now the food which was taken in through mouth has reached stomach. Now what happens in stomach? So what is stomach? Stomach is an organ, you can see here, which has got muscular walls. So walls of the stomach are again muscular. So this stomach is a kind of a hollow space kind of a thing. It is like, you can consider it like a bag. So it is a bag kind of structure which has got muscular walls which are flexible. So the stomach is capable of expanding and contracting because it has got muscular walls, and that those muscles can contract and relax. So the stomach can increase its size. So it so happens that when you are hungry, you start eating. So you feel that you get a feeling that your stomach is getting filled. Now if you eat too much, when you overeat, what happens? Too much of food enters into the stomach. So the stomach actually get expanded, right? So what happens to the stomach? It expands as food enters. It has got muscular walls, as I said. Now what is the purpose of this muscular wall? So these muscular walls will again be capable of contraction and relaxation, and this rhythmic movement of the muscles of the wall of the stomach will actually help in mixing the food with the digestive juices which are present in the stomach, because stomach is a place where digestion actually happens, and for digestion what do we need? We need enzymes, right? So stomach is a place where we have enzymes. So this muscular wall of the stomach will actually help in mixing the food with the digestive juices, right? Now stomach contain gastric glands which secrete enzymes, hydrochloric acid and mucus. Now what are gastric glands? Before that, what are glands? Glands are the organs that synthesizes and releases some substances. So these glands, so we have several glands in our body. For example, we have the endocrine glands, the exocrine glands. So what are glands actually? These are organs that synthesize and releases substances like hormones and enzymes. Examples. When you think of the mammary gland, which females have, so that mammary gland produces milk during the lactation period, right? So there are many different types of glands which produces some hormones or enzymes, and they can produce them either into the blood or they can produce them into the body cavity, right? So stomach also has some special type of gland which are known as gastric glands, and these glands produce an enzyme known as pepsin. Now what is the purpose of this enzyme pepsin? This enzyme pepsin actually helps in digestion of proteins. Because when we take in complex food, that food will have carbohydrates, the food will also have proteins, the food will also have fats. So we need enzymes to digest each of them. It is not that if only carbohydrate is digested, that is good enough. We don't need to digest the proteins. Everything needs to be digested, right? Because everything is in its complex form. So as I said, in the mouth we had salivary amylase. So salivary amylase was used for digestion of carbohydrates, not complete digestion, but at least it was converting the complex sugars into little simple sugars. So this enzyme pepsin is used for digestion of proteins, right? Now what is the purpose of this hydrochloric acid? So this gland is creating the enzyme, but at the same time it is also producing some hydrochloric acid. So what is the purpose of hydrochloric acid here? Now this hydrochloric acid will kill microbes if there are any in the food. Kill microbes if any in food. Because see, when we consume food, it might be possible that there are some small bacteria or something inside that food. So this hydrochloric acid will help in killing those kind of microbes. But sometimes those microbes are too much in quantity, and even after the presence of the hydrochloric acid, they might cause some disease or some infection inside our body. But this acid at least tries to kill some microbes which are present in the food. What is the other function of this hydrochloric acid? This hydrochloric acid makes the medium acidic. So whenever some acid is present, the medium will become acidic, right? But what is the advantage of the medium becoming acidic? Now, if the medium becomes acidic, the gastric enzymes will be able to work. That means these gastric enzymes, as I said, pepsin, the gastric enzymes work only in acidic medium. So that means we need something to make the medium acidic. So for that, they secrete hydrochloric acid as well. So the stomach has gastric glands which secrete gastric enzymes which help in digestion of proteins. It also secretes hydrochloric acid which makes the medium acidic so that the gastric enzymes can actually become active. So these gastric enzymes like pepsin are not active in an alkaline medium. So they want the medium to be acidic. Now, what is the purpose of mucus? What is mucus first of all? Mucus is a viscous slimy liquid-like thing. So what is the purpose of mucus? This mucus prevents too much of hydrochloric acid to get deposited in the stomach. Because if too much of hydrochloric acid gets deposited, what will happen? The medium will become too much acidic, and that can give rise to acidity. You would have heard that many people complain when they eat too much of oily food or when the digestion is not proper. They often say that today I am having the problem of acidity. So what is this acidity? When too much of hydrochloric acid gets accumulated in the walls of the stomach, acidity can happen. So this mucus actually prevents hydrochloric acid to get deposited in excess. So see, if we don't have all these things, if we do not have mucus, in that case what will happen? Since hydrochloric acid is something which is constantly getting secreted by the gastric glands, so every time there is a lot of acid inside the stomach. But due to the presence of the mucus, the problem of acidity does not arise every time, because most of the time mucus is able to prevent the hydrochloric acid from getting deposited, because mucus is something which is slippery and slimy. So even though the acid wants to get deposited on the walls, so mucus will just push it forward, so it does not allow the acid to get deposited. So digestion happens here with the help of gastric enzymes. So we saw that now digestion has started. Right? So I hope you are getting the flow, right? So the food intake or ingestion happened at mouth. Then the food reached buccal cavity. In buccal cavity, what happened? The food was broken down into smaller size with the help of teeth, and also salivary amylase converted starch into simple sugar. Then the food passed through pharynx. From pharynx, it went to the esophagus or the food pipe. The food pipe brought the food to the stomach. In stomach, digestion started with the help of gastric enzymes like pepsin. And for pepsins to act, they want the medium to be acidic. So for that, these glands also secreted hydrochloric acid, which made the medium acidic. But since too much of accumulation of hydrochloric acid can give rise to the problem of acidity, that is why the gastric glands also secreted mucus, which is a slimy, slippery substance and prevents the accumulation of hydrochloric acid in stomach. Clear? So I hope we are clear with this. So with this, we finish our discussion on stomach. So now where will the food go from stomach? So after stomach, the food should go to the small intestine. So before that, we will also talk about some of the other digestive glands which are present inside our body. So what are the digestive glands which are present inside our body? The first one is liver. So liver is the largest gland in the human body. So which is the liver here? So this red colored structure which you see here is liver. So you can see how big it is. So this is the largest gland in the human body. So gland, as I said, what is gland? It is an organ which synthesizes and releases substances like hormones and enzymes. So what does this liver secretes? So liver secretes a juice called bile juice, which is stored in gallbladder. So again, you are getting new names. So what is gallbladder? Here you can see a green colored structure, right? So this green colored structure is known as gallbladder. So this liver being a gland, it secretes bile juice. What does the bile juice consist of? The bile juice consists of the bile pigments as well as some enzymes. So, and this bile juice is secreted by liver, but it is stored in the gallbladder. Now, what is the function of this bile juice? It helps in emulsification of fats. That means in the digestion of fats, when the complex fats are converted into the simple fatty acids. So this bile juice helps it. It actually does not digest it, but it helps it. How does it help? We will see that in the later slides. It makes the medium alkaline. The way hydrochloric acid makes the medium acidic, this bile juice makes the medium alkaline. It activates the action of pancreatic and intestinal enzymes. So as you have seen in case of stomach, the gastric enzymes needed an acidic medium to act. Similarly, the enzymes which are secreted by the intestine, the intestinal enzymes and the pancreatic enzymes. What are pancreatic enzymes? The enzymes which are secreted by pancreas. So pancreas is another gland. So we will talk about pancreas just now. So what is the function of liver? It is a gland which secretes bile juice. Bile juice is stored in this gallbladder. What is the function of bile juice? Bile juice will help in the digestion of fats by making the medium alkaline. So once it turns the medium alkaline, so what will happen? The pancreatic enzymes and the intestinal enzymes will be able to act. So let us now talk about pancreas. It is the second largest gland. So where is pancreas? You can see some green colored structure just behind the stomach. So this structure is pancreas. So this is also a bigger gland. It secretes pancreatic juice. So what does the pancreatic juice consist of? Now pancreatic juice consists of three types of enzymes. It consists of an enzyme called trypsin. It also consists of an enzyme called pancreatic amylase, and it consists of another enzyme called pancreatic lipase. So these are the three enzymes which is present in the pancreatic juice. Now what are the function of each of these enzymes? Trypsin digests proteins. Pancreatic amylase digests starch. So any enzyme which has amylase, they generally digest starch, because even salivary amylase was also used in digestion of starch, right? And pancreatic lipase digests fats. Lipase, it is related to the word lipids. So it digests fats. So now if you see, this pancreatic juice actually contains all the enzymes which help in digestion of proteins, carbohydrates as well as fats. Now in order that these pancreatic enzymes start acting, the medium has to be alkaline. So that medium is made alkaline by the bile juice. Now what does that mean? Where does this pancreatic enzymes act on the food? So it is not in the pancreas, it is somewhere else. So where it is? Let us see. Thank you. Please visit www.examfear.com to watch more videos, attempt free online test, get free study material, find tutors and mentors. Thank you once again.